The progressive movement gained momentum and followers as Americans read the work of writers and journalists who exposed corruption in government and business and described the deplorable life of many working-class Americans. These writers became popularly known as muckrakers, from a character in John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress who raked up the mud and muck of the world. Author Upton Sinclair shocked the nation with his graphic description of the filth and appalling working conditions in Chicago meatpacking plants. Ida Tarbell described the cutthroat tactics used to eliminate competition by big businesses like Standard Oil. Jacob Riis, an immigrant himself, wrote a first-hand account of life in the slums, while Lincoln Steffens, considered the leader of the muckraking movement, exposed the corruption so rampant in city government. As Americans read these muckraking books and magazine articles, they became not only aware of the country's problems, they demanded and supported reforms in both business and government. A major reform governor, Robert M. La Follette of Wisconsin, enlisted experts to help him improve his state's government. Soon, other states followed his lead.
My goal is not to smash corporations, but to drive them out of politics.
Meanwhile, on the local level, new forms of city government emerged. After a tidal wave devastated the city of Galveston, Texas, a 5-member commission was set up to rebuild the city, rather than politicians. This commission system of government proved so successful that in just 14 years, some 400 other cities had followed Galveston's lead. Still other cities adopted the council-manager form of government. Residents elect a city council to make laws, and the council appoints a manager, usually a professional public administrator, to run the city's various departments. Both of these systems help to eliminate corruption in local government. Meanwhile, state government reforms moved forward. Other progressive governors, such as Charles Evan Hughes of New York and Hiram Johnson of California, were joined by ordinary citizens like William S. Uren of Oregon. With his urging, Oregon adopted 4 election reforms. The secret ballot, where voters individually get an official ballot and vote in a private booth. The initiative, giving voters the right to put issues on a ballot for a vote. The recall, which granted voters the right to remove an elected official. And perhaps most importantly, the direct primary, in which voters choose candidates for office rather than political party leaders. The direct primary led to the adoption of the 17th Amendment to the Constitution, giving Americans the ability to directly elect their state senators. Many of the demands of the earlier populist movement were finally coming to fruition as state and local governments became more responsive to citizens and tried to eliminate the influence of big business.
The growth of large business is merely survival of the fittest.
Although progressives wanted to preserve capitalism, they feared that the concentration of huge wealth and power in the hands of a few industrialists like Rockefeller was dangerous. As proof, they cited the millions of men, women, and children who labored for low pay and long hours in hazardous working conditions.